the key thing about Jasmine isn't even that she loses a lot of money, but that, like a lot of people who have lost jobs and have fallen from a far less high place, she loses her identity. She loses her role in the world.
Yes.
That's the universal thing. And, you know, when you were talking before about how you did not set out to make anything topical or anything, I believed you 100%. But because there's been so much commentary about the film, about that, do you feel that it's almost part of the magic of movies that you can make a movie like this that kind of channels what's out there, even if you weren't necessarily intending?
It happens. You know, you don't do it consciously. I certainly didn't, but I think many people have the same thing. You don't do it. It's just the atmosphere out there, right. And you find when you're writing, it's in your, you know, in your DNA from having absorbed it from listening to the news every day and reading the papers every day. And when you're writing it, you're not writing about that, but that's what makes up the fabric of the culture, and so it creeps in without, you know, but the same loss of identity that you're talking about is true of the guy with the lunch pail who was the father of 2 kids and a family in Detroit or something. I keep mentioning Detroit, but it could be Chicago or, you know, and he's lost his identity too. He was the breadwinner of the family. He had a job, he supported his kids, his wife, but he loses the job. And suddenly, his identity is gone too. He's sitting home, not working, can't get a job. The wife has to get a job or make do somehow. The family goes on welfare. And he's no longer, you know, he no longer has the life or the identity that he had. He's not the father, the breadwinner, and the husband. And he's just a poor, out-of-work guy watching his situation deteriorate as the time passes.
Well, you hope for that person, that hypothetical person living in Detroit or Chicago or whatever, to change at that point and to say, well, I've lost my job, and but I think what makes Jasmine so complex, and I love that you wrote a character like her, is that she is unwilling to do so. She says that. She says, I'll go to a computer class and I'll grow, but there's resilience in her. She doesn't, when we can see it, the way she continues to lie even after the engagement or the potential engagement is broken off.
Yes, it's what we began the conversation with. She's delusional, and is she really realistic that she's going to learn computers, and then after she learns computers, she's going to take a course in decorating and get a license over the internet or however you might do it? I mean, yes, it's possible, but it's, you know, it's so remote, and she's not suited to it. And
well, that stuff isn't realistic at all, that she would do that. But what is realistic is that she might meet another Hal, which she sort of does, and in fact, she meets a better Hal.
Yes.
But she's so addicted to lying.
Yes, at that point she's lost. She's too lost, and inwardly she'd be too panic-stricken, you know, to try and say something that could in any way jeopardize.
That's right.
You know, she'd be so frightened to say, well, my husband was a convicted criminal and he killed himself, and you know, and I've had electroshock therapy, and I mean, you know, that's not how you begin a relationship at a party. You know, it's not, it's too tough for her. I mean, somebody with more, better grounded might be able to navigate their way around that and be able to do it. But it would be hard. I mean, I wouldn't like to meet a girl at a party and start to pitch her and have to give her dreadful facts about myself.
Well, isn't there a sense that this sort of thing isn't becoming of the class that Jasmine is trying to operate in, that people in this strata of society don't work in shoe stores, they don't have relatives who've gone to jail.
Right,
you know,
sure.
that this is part of the illusion that she's almost in a way like an actress playing a role, and she has a certain vision of what this person is that she wants to be, and none of these things fit into that.
Not at all, right, exactly. If this guy is in the diplomatic corps and hopes to have maybe a political future in some way, I mean, this is all death. You know, I mean, this would all be suicidal for him to begin a relationship and give himself that kind of burden, you know, to start with.